I'm Charlie Hart, also known as Awesome Charlie with an AU for autistic. During Neurodiversity Celebration Week, I am hosting 3 live streams from the Speakers Collective, of which I'm a member, and the aim is to promote understanding, acceptance and support for all kinds of minds. I am multiply neurodivergent myself. I am autistic and I have complex PTSD and ADHD, and they're part of who I am. And yeah, I'm proudly neurodivergent. And I really want to help work towards a society where all kinds of minds can thrive, and that neurodivergent people are treated with respect and dignity, and we have equity of opportunity and meaningful inclusion across society.
Hi, I'm Anita Patel, a neuro-inclusion trainer, speaker and a neurodiversity coach. Over the past few years, I've worked in education settings with teams in different workplaces and with individuals using a strength-based approach to be able to create more neuro-affirming environments. Seeing the impact of better understanding in these different spaces makes me want to continue on this path for as long as I possibly can. So what led me to do what I do now? I was late diagnosed as both autistic with ADHD, otherwise known as ADHD, and since then I've been focusing on the relationship between neurodivergence and intersectionality, as this does shape our experiences, our access to support, and so much more. A few years ago, I was recovering from cancer, burnout, and was experiencing a chemical menopause as a result of the cancer treatment I was put on. All of that, and being from the South Asian community, definitely impacted my journey from the discovery stage of knowing that I was different to then receiving a formal diagnosis. I feel that everything that co-occurs with someone and is not always seen needs to be understood so that the right support can be provided. It's been with its ups and downs and everything that comes with misdiagnoses, especially in my younger years, but I now understand my strengths and my struggles so much better. And working for myself means that I can work with, for example, my sensory triggers or preferences, my fluctuating energy levels, and my productivity bursts. I've also become connected with like-minded individuals, such as those in the Speakers Collective, working together to break down the stigma and taboo, which in turn lessens the shame that people feel, knowing that others are going through the same and are talking about it. The language is evolving, which is great to see. It reflects how we are now seeing neurodiversity. Neurodivergent individuals are not broken and are not, for example, high or low functioning on a daily basis. It's not as linear as that. They just have different support needs at different times in different places. Asking the right questions and not adopting a stereotypical approach can make such a difference. So for Neurodiversity Celebration Week this year, it's great to see the work being done by organisations and advocates so that we are not only accepting different ways of thinking and processing, but we are fully embracing them. When neurodivergent individuals are supported well, so many great things happen. Creativity, innovation, skill mastery, and much more. But if neuro-affirming support is not provided, the opposite may be seen. I am definitely noticing the impacts in myself and others of masking less and receiving the right types of adjustments. This is why it's so important to make sure that we keep up the work the rest of the year to be able to create neuro inclusion in all spaces and celebrate everything that this brings.
I'd like to read out this piece from Nikki Mattocks, member of the Speakers Collective. Neurodivergence is something I acquired along the way through trauma and mental health problems manifesting as emotionally unstable personality disorder and schizoaffective disorder. I was diagnosed with an emotionally unstable personality disorder when I was 14 after a brief psychiatric hospital admission. I thought, finally, I've got a diagnosis that makes sense. However, what I was unaware of is how much stigma is attached to it. I do believe this condition is one of the most stigmatised conditions out there, with people often wrongly thinking that we're just attention-seeking or manipulative, when actually we're just traumatised people trying to get through the day. I was also diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder when I was 20 after being hospitalised with psychosis. Being neurodivergent has meant that my life has looked different from the average person. There's no right way to live your life, but mine has involved lots of medication, therapy and hospital visits. What I would say to other neurodivergent people out there, particularly those with these conditions, is you're not a freak, you're not a burden, you're going to be okay and you are loved and you matter regardless of what other people say. I'm not crazy, I'm just me. What's crazy is what has happened to me. I've been through war and hell, and you have the audacity to tell me to be less emotional. I can't tone it down. What would you tell someone in a burning fire? You wouldn't tell them to stifle their screams. So when you say I am attention seeking, how about you? Try walking in my shoes.
Hi everybody, my name's Aidan. I'm 21 years old from Belfast, Northern Ireland. So I have dyspraxia, I also have long COVID and IBS, and I am waiting to be diagnosed with autism. So I also work part-time as a youth advisor for 2 charities. Some experiences I've had growing up being a young carer for my brother who has autism, I've realised how much support and advocacy and what needs to be done better in healthcare, education settings, even just community spaces for neurodivergent people. My brother has been through the education system and I've seen the challenges that he's had to face, and also working previously as a classroom assistant in both a special school and also a college, I've seen the pressure that the staff teachers are under, but also the significant lack of training that unfortunately a lot of staff members fail to go through to understand how to best support somebody who's neurodivergent. I also do a lot of work with different charities like Sense. I'm a virtual buddy, and this means that I support 2 young people who both have autism and other neurodiverse conditions, and support them to just relax and connect with others, because being neurodiverse can be really isolating and it can be really hard to step out of your comfort zone and meet other people. So it's given these 2 young people the opportunity to learn new skills and get to know somebody who can help support them. And I think that more employers should be more open to learning how to support neurodiverse employees, and especially young people. You're really listening to them, really supporting them, really giving them the opportunity to have their say and have their voice, and just asking them what they want and what they need, and just trying to be as accommodating as possible and create that one-to-one inclusive and supportive environment from the get-go, because it can really not only help that person but also help the employers to get the best out of that person. If they feel comfortable in the environment, they will ultimately thrive and do their best in the circumstances and in their jobs. So that would be my advice to anybody who is listening, who is an employer or who might already work with neurodiverse people, including young people. Just make sure that you are doing all you can to support them, listen to what they have to say, and try to be as accommodating to their needs as possible.
I hope you learned something. Connect with us all. Please read our profiles on the Speakers Collective website.